This is the Terracotta Army. 8,000 warriors buried over 2,000 years ago. One of the greatest wonders of the world.
The Terracotta Army has stood for centuries as an awe-inspiring symbol of ancient power. But what if the soldiers guarding the emperor's tomb aren't just protecting? What if they're hiding something? When Albert Lin and his team used cutting-edge scans, they uncovered strange structures and eerie markings deep beneath the clay warriors. The scans revealed an underground world that challenges our understanding of this tomb.
It's a vast pottery army which is slowly being unearthed from the tomb where it's lain for more than 2,000 years.
What could these hidden chambers and secrets really be guarding? And why has the truth stayed buried for so long? Stick around, because the answer might just shock you. The Terracotta Army's hidden secrets. Beneath the famous rows of clay soldiers lies a much deeper mystery that challenges everything we thought about this ancient tomb. When Albert Lin and his team began using cutting-edge scanning technology, they didn't just find more of the same soldiers. They uncovered strange structures and markings that hinted at secrets long buried. These were not simple burial chambers. Instead, what appeared were walls and voids that had never been mapped before. The sheer scale of the underground complex suggested a hidden city rather than a traditional tomb. What's even more unsettling is that these clues don't seem to fit the typical story of a royal mausoleum. The spaces between the soldiers are vast and mostly empty, as if the army is just a front for something else. The unexpected shapes and tunnel-like features seemed almost deliberately hidden, covered by centuries of earth and silence. Rumors have circulated for years that the tomb holds forbidden areas, but the technology finally gave a clear glimpse beneath the surface. It's as if the ground itself were concealing a nightmare the emperor wanted forgotten. While many admire the craftsmanship of the Terracotta Army, few realize that beneath them are pockmarks in the dirt and chambers unlike anything found in other ancient tombs. Odd clusters of unidentified objects appear in the scans, raising questions about their purpose. If these aren't just more statues or artifacts, then what are they? The data reveals shapes that are too irregular to be simple storage or decorative spaces. Instead, they suggest unsettling activity beneath the surface, spaces where life and death were trapped in ways that don't make immediate sense. The Army's arrangement to move soldiers through space contains a concealed communication. The soldiers maintain their eastern stance because they stand ready to fight their ancient foes, yet their protective stance hides their actual purpose, which is to achieve something more sinister. The question remains whether they protect the emperor or act as guards to prevent someone from escaping. The situation establishes a connection between protector and captor, which leads people to believe that hidden elements contain forbidden knowledge. The scanning process revealed deeper contents, which turned the tomb into a sealed prison instead of a burial site. The clay soldiers, together with their stables and bronze equipment and clay creatures, establish a mystery because these items were created to support the emperor's needs in his afterlife. The empty spaces between these elements hint at a missing piece of the puzzle. The researchers believe that this underground space contains a hidden empire that perfectly replicates the above-ground empire, yet remains protected underground to maintain its existence. The existence of a palace becomes unnecessary when the hidden reality tells of conflict and suffering that happened inside its walls. The local legends declare that a curse exists that has generated fear since ancient times. The people who disturbed the site in ancient times experienced multiple kinds of bad luck that included sickness and death. The weight of these stories presses down on any attempt to explore further, as if the land itself remembers the pain buried within. The hidden system of underground tunnels, which scans show to exist with vertical shafts and multiple hidden walls, establishes a dangerous system that people used to build. The high-tech detective work of Albert Lin brought him to more than his exploration work because he experienced the heavy atmosphere that surrounded him. His scans uncovered many locked chambers that had remained untouched for 2 millennia. The excavation process showed that the burial site contained a complex structure that surpassed all previous knowledge. The Terracotta Army functioned as an entrance point that revealed a hidden underground network that ancient people constructed to protect their deepest secrets. The complete truth remained inaccessible to us at that time. The surface shadows exposed hidden dangers which the emperor planned to keep secret from the world. The initial scans showed historical events and terrifying experiences merging because the Terracotta Army existed to protect something unknown, which violated all common tomb expectations. Beneath those silent soldiers, the journey into forbidden chambers and mass graves brought a darker reality into shocking view. Forbidden chambers and mass graves. The ground-penetrating radar revealed what many had feared, but few dared to confirm: secret rooms and graves hidden beneath the stone warriors. These weren't simply empty spaces or storage vaults, but areas scarred by violent activity and filled with human remains. The scans showed deep vertical shafts and clusters of tangled shapes resembling bones, suggesting mass burials rather than ceremonial tombs. These were places where many people met a cruel and premature end. It's believed that as many as 700,000 workers helped build this colossal tomb complex. If even a fraction of those people were forced to remain in these underground chambers, it could be one of the largest mass burial sites in human history. The earth itself shows evidence of struggle, soil layers disturbed by desperate movements, and tunnels deliberately filled in while people were still trapped inside. It paints a harrowing picture of forced laborers sealed away alive, their final moments swallowed by dirt and silence. Adding even more to the fear, radar images suggest that some tunnels may contain ancient traps still active after 2,000 years. Bronze mechanisms, possibly including mechanical bows, could be waiting to fire on anyone who dares enter. While wood would have naturally rotted, bronze components could have survived, preserving primitive yet deadly defenses designed to seal the tomb's darkest secrets forever. The idea of traps lying in wait beneath silent soldiers is chilling in itself. More puzzling is the discovery of a large, pyramid-shaped earthen structure hidden beneath the main mound. This packed earth formation cannot be seen from above, but appears to guard something crucial at the core of the tomb. It suggests the emperor intentionally layered his secrets under multiple shields, digging deeper than anyone would imagine, to protect what lies beneath. What significance does this hidden pyramid hold, and what else remains concealed under layers of centuries-old earth? The burial pits, which repeat throughout the entire site, demonstrate that the tomb serves as a royal burial ground, but also functions as a cemetery for those who have been neglected and abused. The skeletal remains show evidence of injuries and blunt force attacks, which demonstrate that multiple individuals experienced violent fatalities. The evidence shows that some individuals died through violent means because their bodies were discovered under collapsed ceilings with tools placed beside them. The people who worked here were not treated with respect because they were slayed to prevent their voices from being heard. The underground air pockets, which extend into deep areas, complete the terrifying picture because they point to tunnels that have either caved in or remain incomplete. The existing tunnels extend to depths that exceed any existing chamber, while their historical details remain unknown because they provide no information about their former connections. The most powerful visual among these tunnels appears through the faint soil tracks, which show permanent evidence of people who ran and stumbled and were dragged through tight spaces. The brief evidence of movement reveals a tale that shows people making extreme attempts to achieve their goals during a specific moment. The presence of prisoner collars discovered with certain remains shows that a social hierarchy existed in this dangerous underworld. The group consisted of people who were neither volunteers nor honored artisans because they were prisoners who had to create their own burial sites. According to some theories, the emperor believed their spirits would serve him after death, which created a terrifying situation that combined both living and dead existence. The clay warriors may have been intended as more than statues. They could be symbols or even prisons for souls caught between worlds. The hidden chambers and graveyards create a terrifying new understanding of the tomb. The structured formation of soldiers hides an untamed realm that exists in a haunted state. The emperor attempted to erase his personal history when he ordered the burial of his legacy alongside the existing suffering and death evidence that made his existence possible. The narrative develops into a royal conspiracy through two separate family conflicts, which lead the story into a darker realm. Those secrets lead to the ruthless methods the emperor used to build and protect his empire. The emperor's dark methods. Historical evidence and scientific data converge to reveal a grim truth. The construction of the terracotta tomb was built on the backs of prisoners and forced laborers who paid with their lives. The vast workforce, officially counted at 700,000, was tightly controlled through intimidation, violence, and surveillance. The emperor's paranoia ensured that every move was watched, every mistake punished with deadly consequences. The stakes were survival, and the punishment was often silence in the deepest grave. The discovery of skeletons wearing iron collars unmistakably marks many as prisoners rather than free workers. These collars likely served as restraints or marks of captivity, linking the labor force directly to coercion rather than voluntary service. Unlike the respectfully honored artisans known elsewhere, these individuals show evidence of brutal treatment. Many were buried without ceremony, their bodies dumped in hurriedly filled pits to erase any trace of their existence. Records from the time also speak of fear and control, illuminated further by the bamboo scrolls found near the tomb. These writings read more like confessions and accounts of punishment than simple historical notes. They describe forced disappearances of intellectuals, book burnings, and the execution of anyone suspected of harboring dissent or delaying progress. The emperor wielded control through fear, crushing any hint of rebellion, even as he built a monument to his own immortality. The signs of struggle found in the soil hint at attempts to escape or resist. Layers of disturbed earth show that tunnels were filled in while workers were inside them, likely to prevent secrets from leaking or prisoners from fleeing. The notion that people fought their last battles underground, trapped by collapsing ceilings and sealed earth, turns the tomb into a horrorscape rather than a peaceful sanctuary. It is a house built on control and silence, literally burying truth beneath its surface. Even the bronze weapons found alongside the clay horses and soldiers were still remarkably sharp, a reminder that this was a place prepared for war, even in death. The meticulous detail in the artifact preservation contrasts sharply with the neglect shown to the people forced to build it. This cruel dichotomy reveals the emperor's priorities: eternal defense and domination above all else, even at the expense of human life. Some of the bamboo scrolls even describe how thousands of skilled men were left to die underground, trapped and silenced. The emperor's need for total power left no room for mercy. This ruthless approach ensured that the secrets of the tomb stayed hidden, guarded not only by the clay army, but by human suffering. The weight of these revelations changes our understanding of the first emperor from a unifying leader to a dictator obsessed with control, both in life and death. Behind the grandeur of the Great Wall and the famous warriors lay a regime driven by fear, violence, and betrayal. This darker truth shields an even deeper story, one rooted firmly in palace intrigue and family rivalries. The grim methods used to guard his secrets set the stage for a chilling royal conspiracy where blood ties may have been severed in cold silence. The truth hidden beneath these soldiers pulls us deeper into a story not only of ancient power, but of betrayal within a royal family itself. The royal family conspiracy. Among the many secrets buried beneath the Terracotta Army, one discovery stands out. The skeleton of a young man, likely one of the emperor's sons, found in a carefully arranged pit near the tomb's center. Unlike the hurried mass graves, his remains were placed with care and surrounded by expensive artifacts. What shocked experts was the bronze arrowhead lodged in his skull, clearly a sign of execution. This wasn't an accident. This prince may have been erased from history in a deadly family purge. Historical records mention several of the emperor's sons, many of whom mysteriously disappeared. This discovery points to a brutal purge where royal blood was no exception to political violence. The cramped burial pit suggests the prince was imprisoned before his death, hidden away for months or even years. This theory is supported by scanning technology, which detected narrow voids throughout the tomb, possibly more royal victims, eliminated by the emperor's successor. The burial method for these royals who died in the same grave as common workers creates an equal status between prince and prisoner in their final resting place. The family relationship ties show how political power operates, because people who hold power will stop at nothing to reach their goals. Some experts speculate the execution was also ritualistic. The arrow might have symbolized binding the prince's spirit to the tomb, ensuring he would guard the emperor's resting place forever. The prince suffered from captivity, which extended for months because his bones showed signs of stress that matched his time in bondage. The documents establish his torture because they replicate the terror that filled the imperial court, which the bamboo scrolls discovered near the tomb site confirmed. The texts explain how the terror-based regime operated because it executed intellectuals through live burial while destroying books to eliminate opposing viewpoints. The emperor's regime used violence and fear, not just against the living, but against the dead. The royal family has left behind a dark legacy of betrayal, which transforms the tomb into more than a burial ground because it becomes a prison for both body and spirit. The emperor uses the tomb to control the afterlife because his obsession with afterlife control creates extra paranoia for an already terrifying narrative. He built the tomb as a monument to his rule, which he used to protect his legacy and maintain control over his death. The emperor's mystical beliefs and quest for eternal life carved a deeply symbolic landscape throughout his tomb. Mystical beliefs and afterlife control. The emperor's tomb was more than just a resting place. It was a ritual machine designed to secure his immortality. Obsessed with conquering death, he sought a magical elixir, but when that failed, he turned to the tomb's design. Every detail, from the positioning of the Terracotta Army to the rivers of mercury, was a spiritual map for his journey in the afterlife. Scans revealed toxic mercury streams beneath the tomb, intended to protect the emperor's spirit. These rivers mirrored real waterways, creating an underground silver empire. The tomb's mercury levels are dangerously high, making it one of the most hazardous archaeological sites. Opening the burial chamber risks releasing toxic mercury vapors and damaging fragile artifacts, as evidenced when smaller pits were opened in the 1980s, causing paint to peel away. The potential destruction of priceless items has led experts to hesitate in breaching the tomb. Bamboo scrolls found near the tomb, which contain secret messages, demonstrate that the emperor thought his soldiers could rise from their graves to protect him during his afterlife. The scrolls indicate the existence of a concealed treasure room, which defenders protect with poison of the stars, which probably refers to mercury, because the emperor tried to keep his treasure safe from both thieves and his spiritual foes. He fears death because his afterlife obsession shows. The emperor dispatched multiple missions to find the islands of eternal life, which resulted in the deaths of many. His burial site architecture received inspiration from these expeditions because its design served both to honor him and to maintain control over his realm and opponents throughout eternity. The tomb functions as a connection point between two realms, which enables the emperor to maintain his authority after death. The unfolding of the mysteries, which includes the curses and the poison and the extensive military force, leads us to a fundamental question about the hidden contents of the tomb and the appropriate time for us to unlock its doors. With danger, mystery, and dark magic woven into stone and earth, the tomb stands as a monumental reminder that some secrets may be too terrifying to unearth. The perils of opening the tomb. The tomb of China's first emperor remains sealed, its mysteries hidden beneath layers of earth. Despite centuries of intrigue, no one has dared to open it due to the very real dangers inside. High levels of mercury surrounding the tomb create a toxic environment that could pose serious risks. Mercury rivers beneath the tomb could release poisonous vapors if disturbed, while a sudden breach may cause structural collapses or gas expulsions. Beyond mercury, the fragile preservation of artifacts poses another threat. When smaller pits were opened in the 1980s, the vibrant pigments on statues decayed rapidly upon exposure to air. This jeopardizes the preservation of priceless artifacts like wooden constructions and paintings. Scans show that the tomb contains ancient traps that remain active because they serve to protect the emperor's tomb after his death. The mechanical defenses of the tomb, which include bronze crossbows, create a deadly threat that explorers must face during their missions. Excavation operations face additional challenges because researchers believe the tomb hides great wealth, which they think to defend through mercury protection. The dangerous conditions inside the tomb create ethical dilemmas that force us to choose between two options. The decision to open the tomb is fraught with uncertainty. The tomb uses protective measures that demonstrate the emperor's intense fear of unauthorized access to his burial site. The Terracotta Army protects both a king and a deep mystery, which shows that humans know very little about history, while they pay a high cost to keep ancient knowledge hidden. The Terracotta Army is far more than an artistic masterpiece. Beneath those silent soldiers lie secrets of betrayal, cruelty, and a relentless pursuit of immortality, all veiled in peril. As technology advances, the truth comes into sharper focus, but some mysteries and dangers might be better left undisturbed. If this journey through history captivated you, drop a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more astonishing revelations. And remember, the next video on your screen could unlock even more forgotten tales. Don't miss it.